Hello again, guys. Right, this is one for, and girls, of course, not doing a sexist thing. This is one for, I believe it was Paul Bevan, and stupidness is not a disability. And this is one I'm thinking you'll all have clocked it. It says sometimes we do not pay factoring companies, quite often in large, bold, capital letters. The reason for this, I mean, I don't know if you know about factoring companies. The idea of a factoring company is not everybody who starts on the exchange has actually got £20,000 or 15 or 10 grand, however much they need to run for 3 months of their life, pay all their bills, put diesel in their van, put food on the table and wait for the invoices to start rolling in. Once you got over the initial period, then kind of the jobs that you do 3 months ago you get paid for today, which is fine because the money coming in. Yeah, not everybody can do that. I couldn't do that. So I got a factoring company. I've had one, I've changed one. I'm now with a new factoring company, and at some stage I'm going to have a chat with them because, like everybody else, if I introduce you guys to them, I get a kickback. But we'll have to work that one out when all this is over. But in the meantime, so what a factoring company will do is a factoring company will take all the invoices that you have for that week. So you run for a week, you submit the invoices. Sometimes they charge you a fee to upload them. Sometimes, depending if you're not spending over enough money, then they'll charge you a fee to use them. Then it gets very uneconomical, so tell them you're going to make a load of money. And if you get it all right, and I will go into this at a future date when I get it all locked down, they will pay you weekly and they will take a percentage. So say, for example, over a week you might take £1,000, they might put £850 in your bank and hold back 15%, and then when they get paid they'll put a further 12.5% or another 10% in your bank. So ultimately it costs you 5%, 4%. It's never quite straightforward as that, but that's basically the idea. And they won't take everybody. Some certain factoring companies will only take people that are in business for certain times and all that kind of stuff, but it can be incredibly helpful if you're trying to find a load of money, trying to put diesel in your van, waiting to get paid, not getting paid. But some companies you'll do jobs for say, we do not pay factoring companies. The reason for this, as my mate Simple Brian pointed out at the very beginning, factoring companies can sometimes be a right nose in the fact that they don't, if they've got a lot of customers and they're dealing with a lot of customers, he says, I'm getting invoices for jobs which I paid for weeks ago and they're hassling me, and I'm like, I don't need all this. Whereas if you're just dealing with a guy and the guy says, I do a job for Barry's Couriers and I don't get paid, I go, Barry, I haven't been paid. And he goes, I'll just double check that. Oh, you have? And you go, oh yes, sorry, I didn't see that. Or you go, you haven't? Oh yes, sorry, I'll do it at the end of the week. I'll put it through. So from there, from a shipper's point of view, it's a lot less ag dealing with individuals. Also, some people don't like it because factoring companies can start sending them solicitors' letters, and they can start sending them. I'm not saying all, but certain ones they've got a little bit more oomph about them. Whereas one guy on his own, someone owes you some money, you ain't paid me. I ain't paid you. What you going to do about it? But if it's a factoring company saying you ain't paid me, well, I ain't going to pay you. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to authorise a CCJ. Okay, I'll pay. So some people don't like factoring companies for that reason. But I think on the whole, most people on the exchange don't like them because they can be a pain. Not all of them. Some are better than others. There are ways you can get around it. Though. Firstly, you can tell the factoring company you're going to do your own credit control. So I don't want you sending out any letters to my customers. I don't want you giving them the needle. I'll do all the work. If someone hasn't paid a bill, you tell me and I'll ring them. That makes it more personal. There you go. The other thing you can do is when you send out your invoices, the invoice on the bank account on the bottom of the invoice will have the factoring company's name and the factoring company's bank details. But what you can do is you can change the factoring company's name to your name. So you can call it Barry's Couriers or Pango Transport, but underneath we'll have the bank details of the factoring company that's going into. It doesn't matter what the name says, the money will still go into the same place. Now certain people that we deal with don't even like this one. It's like, no, we don't pay them. So what I have to do in those situations, or what Jem has to do in those situations, is we've got separate accounts. There's 2 or 3 firms that we do work for, and if we do the work for them, we invoice them separately. Then we have to wait to get paid. You have to wait to get the 30 days. We don't get it within 7 days, which means that if me or Al or some of the other drivers are doing a lot of work, and it's starting to get a bit like, we're doing a lot of work for this firm, we're not going to see the money for 30 days, we better be on a slow down on this one. But then after you get a bit of fuel in the tank, you get a few quid behind you, then it's not kind of the end of the world. But things you can do with it, and also the last one, I've done this before. I was on the job, I was on top of it. I give the guy a good price, and I went, oh, I said, oh mate, I'm sorry, I've just checked. He says you don't pay factoring companies. I've got a factoring company. He went, don't worry about that. So you can ask him, say, look, I know you say you don't pay factoring companies, but I'm on top of it, I'm round the corner, it's going to 50 quid. Do you want it? 9 times out of 10, I reckon they'll say yes. So there you go, there's the insight of factoring companies. Like I say, at some stage, I will be recommending a factoring company. I'm already recommending, you know, if people sign up for the exchange, if they sign up for me, I'm supposed to get the kickback. Hasn't happened yet. And I'm doing insurance. I've also got a geezer around me today. You might have some cheap out of blue, but it only really works if you're in the southeast of England, because apparently you can't ship this stuff. But yeah, I will be doing bits and pieces on the side. Make no bones about it, these bits I'm doing on the side are hopefully going to be a few quid for me as well. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. But in the meantime, I'll keep doing the videos, which you can just watch if you want to, and they are just the ramblings of a madman with hair like Billy Corkle. So, was it Billy Corkle? From Bread. You know, that guy. Some guy commented that. I thought that was quite good. Anyway, look, I've got to try and find another job. Tough. So I'm kicking around here now, and I hope you're not. I hope you're actually out there taking care and taking money.